Hello everybody, I'm SnipingIsFun, and in this video I'm going to do another Operation Rainfall type video, but it's not necessarily my thoughts on Operation Rainfall, as a whole, the whole campaign thing, or something like that. It's just my thoughts on a few, comments I heard people write out on the Facebook and on the Xenoblade and Last Story game facts boards last night. Just my quick little thoughts on that, and kind of my thoughts that kind of relate to stuff that kind of relates to that kind of thing. But before I start, though, I just wanted to show you guys that I did end up getting my letters back for Last Story and Pandora's Tower. Those letters. I think I sent my Xenoblade one a little too early, so that's not there. But yeah, they're the same exact letter though. From that, what's her name, Sissy Barner? Oh, for crying out loud, just open. Sissy Barner, the consumer service representative, is the same basic letter I think everyone got back, if they did get a letter back. Basically just saying, thanks for the recent letter, we see that you want to see games like this in America, but at this time there's no new information, announcements regarding these games. I realize this is disappointing, but the comments have been documented and made available for other departments here to see. We appreciate hearing what the consumers find important. Basically just the same generic letter. And that's about it. And one more thing I want to talk about quickly is the fact that there's the August 19th campaign. In case anyone doesn't go look at the blog for the Operation Rainfall, I'm quickly just going to give the information here. There's going to be a fourth letter that they want you to write. This time it's going to be for all three games, and the promise of you buying a 500 Virtual Console point game on the day August 19th, which is the European release of Xenoblade. So here we go. I'll quickly read this off. On August 19th, 2011, Xenoblade Chronicles, the first of our supported titles, will be released in Europe. It seems fitting then that we are targeting a joint mail-in campaign for that date. Yes, we are doing another letter writing event, this time in support of all three titles. Details. 1. Letters should be sent with the intent to arrive on August 19th. 2. The special item of this campaign will be a written promise to buy a specific 500-point Virtual Console game, which will be revealed later, so people don't jump the gun and buy different games, and an actual purchase of said game on the 19th. Not when you send the letter, but on the arrival date, to go along with the letter. We have to show Nintendo our intent to buy games. 3. We request that on this date you also email, call, and Facebook comment Nintendo with your intent to buy these three games. More details will be added to this post soon, including a new template letter and our other campaign details. But for now, let me remind everyone, and they basically say this in every post on the blog, Operation Rainfall is not a boycott, nor do we support boycotting. Operation Rainfall does not support piracy, homebrew, or modding. While we do respect your right to import, Operation Rainfall's goal is to get an NTSC release for these titles. Operation Rainfall urges its followers, fans, peeps to be civil and polite in all dealings with Nintendo. And one last thing it says on here on this thing that I think I should let people know about too is we have to help Operation Rainfall and Nintendo to make Xenoblade Chronicles a success in Europe. So basically we just have to get the word out there, raise awareness to European gamers about this game to sell well there, because based off this it could pretty much help with raising awareness there, and that could very well help in getting the game over here as well. Basically is what it says. It's not a movement to encourage importing though, but to rather raise awareness for European gamers. While those of us outside of Europe are limited in the scope of efforts in Europe, we will be bringing about several initiatives to raise awareness for the title beginning on August 1st, and the game comes out August 19th. We're trying to raise it so it sells well there, so it then probably have a chance of coming here and better if it sells well there, because compared to America, European games usually don't usually sell that well in Europe compared to America. So if it sells really well in Europe, it will sell even probably better than that in America, kind of thing. It will sell well here, pretty much. Now on to the quick little video, like 3 quick little comments. The first one is, some guy said this on the Operation Rainfall Facebook page. I'll put the actual comment in the annotation or something like that. But he said about this, like, about Nintendo supporting this, but then yet other people will come in the future with other operations for more games, kind of thing. And this is how I see Operation Rainfall to an extent. Sometimes I see it to an extent like this. Operation Rainfall is not just an operation for these 3 games. It's also the whole idea of fighting console exclusive games in the future, to stop like people having to, in order to play certain games that they really want to play from that didn't get released in their country, stop them from importing. They could buy it from their country, because the thing about this is, I don't think it is only for Xenoblade, Last Story, and Pandora's Tower. I see it also as a way for gamers to fight, you know, like let's say Nintendo, to let Nintendo know and other companies out there know that they don't like being left out of certain games, and a lot of games should be released worldwide releases, especially if it has so much interest as games like Xenoblade, Last Story, and Pandora's Tower, that they actually should not release region exclusive games, like leaving certain regions and countries out of, you know, releases like they're doing with America. These games, like everywhere else seems to be getting these games, but America's not getting them. The thing about it is, that's how I think it's like kind of fighting. It's fighting that too. It's not just fighting for the fact that the gamers want to play these games in America without having to illegally do anything, you know, and go jump through hoops to get the games, but to also show companies that they should be bringing these games out in the future. Like, they shouldn't think twice about releasing in certain countries, and they should do it. I mean, certain games, you know, something like you know, games like Captain Rainbow, certain titles like that can be questionable. Games like that can still come, but I'm talking about the major releases like a Dragon Quest or Earthseeker or Xenoblade, Last Story, Pandora's Tower, you know, big time franchises like Fatal Frame and all that. You know, they should be released worldwide, and countries should not be left out of it. It's not just fighting, like I said, it's not just fighting for these games, but it's fighting for this to prevent stuff from prevent stuff like this from happening. Operation Rainfall shouldn't have even began to begin with, because we should have got Xenoblade, Last Story, and Pandora's Tower in America to begin with anyways. They should have thought, you know what, we're releasing these in, you know, like Japan, okay, Europe, you're gonna get them, okay, America, you know, don't leave certain countries out of it or anything. And like stuff like this shouldn't have to happen in the future, because Operation Rainfall should show companies like Nintendo that they don't, the gamers don't like being messed with by missing out on games that don't get released in their country. I feel sorry for, you know, what European gamers got missed out on games. You know, if Japanese gamers are missed out on games, Australia, you know, America, all these countries miss out on games. But this will legitimately show that gamers from all different countries, even though it's pretty much just America doing this, they want these games, like they don't want to be left out on these games, especially games that they're super interested in, kind of thing. That stuff like this shouldn't happen. Shouldn't need to happen. Gamers shouldn't have to do this kind of thing. They should be getting the games anyways. See, that's the whole thing about it. And then after that, another comment is, I think this was on one of the Facebooks. I think this was on Facebook, but it was also on one of the GameFAQs boards. Someone said, you know, guys, you can just be getting it years later, you know, Wii U releases or something like that. The thing about that is, there's so much hype for these games now that years later, they first of all though, Operation Rainfall is not just fighting for these games to come over here because people are interested in playing them. They're fighting for these games to come over here as Wii games to fill the rest of the Wii lineup for the next year and a half. That is why these gamers are fighting for it. Yes, they're interested. Yes, they want to play them. They don't want to have to wait years and years and years down the line for the next system when they're fighting for the Wii in general, fighting for a 2011 release for Xenoblade and 2012 releases for Pandora's Tower and for Last Story, you know, in America, to help, you know, join like Dragon Quest, Grinder, Zelda, and Kirby, you know, as gamers really would like to play, although Grinder's not so much, but you know, whatever, you know, as the big time games, you know, to fill the rest of the lineup up, to give gamers more games to look forward to and want to play on the systems. That's the whole point of Operation Rainfall. They're fighting for Wii games. They're not fighting for Wii U games, because if anything, if they break, the thing about it is, that'll be years later. Like I said, the hype. There's so much hype for it now. If they release years later down on the line, like for the Wii U, like in 2013, 14, 15, the games won't sell as much as they will now, because the hype, after a while, will go down, and Nintendo will just be screwing themselves out of money because they're not doing it now, because now would be the best time to get those games, to sell those games. between this year and next year. And even in 2013, because Wii games could still come out back then, and the Wii U is backwards compatible, because if you bring it out as a Wii U game, you won't be able to play it on the Wii. If you bring it out as a Wii game, you track both people. People who have a Wii U want to buy it, and people who have a Wii and want to buy it. And the hype is up there. And you would sell more now if you sold it within that region, instead of waiting years and years and years for, say, oh, an HD upgrade. No. People want the games now. They don't want to wait for it then, because then, first of all, you're making gamers wait even longer. You're going against Operation Rainfall to begin with, because Operation Rainfall is for Wii games that gamers want to play. They want to play them, they want to play them on the Wii. They don't want to wait for the next system, because the next system will have games anyways. You know, this is the last year and a half of the Wii, and they want more games to be supported on that, you know, console. And the hype won't be up as back then, because they could use the hype from these games now. If they want to bring games out then, bring out sequels then. That's the whole point. Wii U can have sequels instead of updated originals that gamers got to play years ago. Think about this. So there's really no point in bringing it out later, because that's against Operation Rainfall to begin with, because they're playing for Wii games. Yet, and then it'll kill the hype years later, because people will still want to play them, but trainers will kill Operation Rainfall, and then will sell less, pretty much. And gamers will be getting games that were released years ago, pretty much, kind of thing. And third, basically a comment I saw on GameFAQs boards: gamers need to have a voice. And this is true. Gamers need to have a voice to tell companies when they don't like what they're doing. Operation Rainfall, people are in agreement with Nintendo not bringing these games to America, or appreciate companies for doing something. Good job, company, for doing whatever they're doing. You know, gamers need to have a voice in the market, because these companies are making games for us to play, and this is what everyone says. I've seen comments with people saying this anyways. Companies are making games for gamers to play, and they need to make something and do something that gamers would be interested in. They need, I mean, this not all the time though, because a lot of things gamers say, I have to agree, are stupid. They're stupid. A lot of things gamers do say and what gamers want are stupid. But certain things like these games for Operation Rainfall and certain things are fine, because these are the people that are buying these companies' games, and if you really don't go for what they want, you kind of alienate your fans, and they will just go elsewhere. If you want to make your fans happy, you have to at least every once in a while support what they want, or help, or do something to support them. Lower prices, bring out certain games, localize stuff, do certain sales, or something like that. Put certain games on online stores or whatever. You have to help out your fans by giving them what they want every once in a while and making them happy. And that's the whole point of this Operation Rainfall thing. And this is gamers raising their voices. A lot of Nintendo gamers, and even gamers that aren't Nintendo, are raising their voices because they don't agree with what Nintendo's doing with not bringing these games to America. It's just the whole idea of it all. Gamers need voices, and Operation Rainfall is just an idea that they give companies feedback, no matter if it's positive or negative, if they agree with what the companies are doing or don't. Gamers need a voice in this market, and it's kind of like what keeps the gaming market together. Because if companies totally ignored their gamers, they would just make a ton of people mad, and if they 100% support their gamers, that's not that good of a choice either. They have to find that balance to it. So companies have to listen to gamers, because gamers need to have a voice, but companies need to know when not to do certain things. The thing is, that's for the stupid stuff. Stuff like Operation Rainfall does not fit into that category. So in reality, gamers need a voice to tell companies when and what they're doing, or if they agree with the companies or disagree with the companies, stuff like that. And that's just my quick thoughts on that. Those three things. Hope you guys like this video. It did go for quite a while. I'm sorry, I'm so used to saying maybe a quick video and then I do it for 15 minutes. I'm sorry about that, but I had to get this out there. I hope maybe my next video will be super shorter. I hope you guys like this video. Please subscribe if you want to. I'll see you guys later in my next video, and peace.